Alrighty, today I am extremely pleased to announce that this is going to be the first of 4 different standard size dark garden corset reviews. And today I am wearing the Corselette from their signature collection. So here is the front, side, back, and the other side. Starting with the length and the fit, the center front of this corset is 11 inches. The side seam here is extremely short, it's only 5.5 inches. And then the center back here is 8.5 inches. In terms of the circumferential measurements, this is a size 22, and the rib cage about 3 inches above the waist is about 26 inches, and the hips about 2.5 inches below the waist is 28 inches. So this corset accommodates about 4 inches of room between the lower rib cage and the waist, and it gives about a 6-inch hip spring from the waist to a little bit above the iliac crest actually. My iliac crest is about another 1.5 inches below where this corset ends on the side seam. So even though my iliac crest is 34 inches, I find this extremely comfortable, which is probably also attributed to the fact that these side bones here are deliberately pre-bent to give you this sort of silhouette. So even though my iliac crest is about 4 inches larger than the bottom edge of this corset, because the corset stops a little bit higher up, then if I wanted to, I could probably eventually close this corset in the back. For the silhouette, because of the way that these bones are deliberately pre-bent, I would say that this is very close to a wasp waist. I find that it brings in the floating rib cage quite a lot. It has a very straight line from the rib cage to the waist here, and then it pops back out again for the hips. So I would consider this a wasp waist. So here's a dark garden corselet laid flat, and for the materials of this, the fashion fabric is a red poplin with a black lace overlay, and you can see that the lace has been expertly mirror matched. Actually, every single one of these panels is also mirror matched. And then on the inside here, you can see that it has a strength fabric of this densely woven black canvas. And here's a close-up of what the dark garden tag looks like, and you can see size 22 there. Turning the corset on its side so you can see the pattern, you can very clearly see that it's a 4-panel pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 2 panels for the front, 2 panels for the back here. For the actual construction of this, obviously the red poplin and the lace overlay were flat lined together, and it seems that they were also flat lined to the canvas underneath. Underneath you can very clearly see how the panels were assembled together with a top stitch, and external boning channels were laid down here. You can also very clearly see that it has a waist tape going across. The waist tape is 3/4 of an inch wide, and it starts from in between the first and second panel all the way to the very back edge with the grommets. The binding is made from bias strips of black satin, which is machine stitched on the outside and also on the inside here. You can actually see on the outside there's a little bit of a top stitch right there. And even though this corselet is very short, there are still 6 garter tabs, 3 on each side. The Modesty panel actually comes separate, so you can see it right here. It is about 8.25 inches long by 5 inches wide, and it's finished in the same red poplin with the black lace over it and the same black canvas underneath. You can also see that it's actually stiffened here, so it has 2 bones that are crisscross and another 2 bones that are going vertically, and then the binding that's going across here horizontally also helps to give it a little bit more sturdiness. There's no real Modesty placket on the knob side of the busk, however there is the tiniest little top stitch there that does help to somewhat fill in the gap in between the busk when you put them together. The busk in this corset is 10 inches long at the longest point, and the interesting thing about this is that it seems that the busk itself has been shaved down to accommodate the points there. So the busk is actually cut on an angle, and so it's shorter on that side and then longer on that side, so that you don't get any sort of collapsing of the fabric at the very top and bottom of the points here. This busk is a standard flexible busk, so 1/2 inch wide on each side. It has 5 loops and pins, all equidistantly spaced, and it has a further a half-inch wide bone on each side of the busk for further reinforcement. If you go on Dark Garden's website, they say that if you don't like the points at the top and bottom edges, you can opt to have them made more rounded. So I'm presuming that if you choose the more rounded option, then the busk and the center front total length might be a little bit shorter. There are 18 bones in this corset, so 9 on each side, not including the center front busk here. Very clearly it is double boned on the seams here. They're all attracting the magnet, so they're all metal here. They all seem to be 1/4 inch wide, and you can see here on the side how the flat bones were deliberately curved to give you that little hip spring right there. There are also some 1/4 inch wide flat steel bones sandwiching the grommets in the back, and like I just said before, there's a 1/2 inch wide flat by the busk for reinforcement. Here's a close-up of the grommets at the back. There are a total of 20 2-part size 00 grommets here with a medium flange around them. They're finished in black, which is a nice touch because it suits the rest of the binding and the lace here. All of them seem to be holding in extremely well, no fraying, no pulling out. And here are the grommets in the back. So nice big washer, once again finished in black. A couple of splits on each of these, but they don't seem to be catching on the laces, so it's not a problem as far as I'm concerned because it doesn't affect the lacing up. And the laces that came with this corset are 3/8 of an inch wide black satin ribbon. It is double-faced satin, so the same texture on both sides. Virtually unbreakable, no stretch to it at all. They glide well through the laces. Like I said, they don't seem to catch on any of the splits in the back, so you don't have a problem with them. The way that it's laced here with a crisscross fashion, it helps, or it seems to help prevent any slipperiness when you're lacing up this corset, because I didn't notice very much bowing in the back or anything when I laced this up. So I think they work great for this corset. The Dark Garden Corselette is available in standard sizes from 18 inches up to 38 inches in their signature collection. If you would like a plain black poplin, this is available for $315. And if you wanted something like this with the red poplin with the black lace overlay, this is available for $395. This concludes my review of the Dark Garden standard size corselette. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you did, then please remember to click that like button as it helps support this channel. If you have any comments or questions about this corset in particular or Dark Garden in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to get back to you or forward your questions over to Dark Garden. And I will see you all later for another video. Bye!